to start by running the hurry up because there's still a lot of contractual stuff. Feels like for this late in the process, we still have some very big stories. The first one is in Cincinnati. Where, if anywhere, are we with Trey Hendrickson?
Into the weekend, they had not made progress. Now, everybody's gotten quiet over the last 24 hours, and we're at a time where everybody is going to have a sense of urgency to try to get something done. But there continues to be a stalemate over guaranteed money. Trey Hendrickson's been increasingly frustrated. The team has been increasingly frustrated. We'll see if they can find a way to bridge their differences. Let's remember last year, Jamar Chase went down to the wire, decided to play, even though they never got a deal done.
RC, what do you make
Yeah,
of all this?
you're starting to wonder if this contract is an impossibility, if the Browns even have the money to give Trey Hendrickson the sort of guarantees that he believes he's earned in this contract. And if you've watched Al Golden's defense at any point in this preseason, you understand how important Trey Hendrickson is. It's not just the 17.5 sacks over both of the last seasons. It's the leadership. It's the physicality. It's what he can add to Shamar Stewart on the other side and what this defense needs in not only the pass game, but the run game.
Yeah, the defense was a disaster last year, and this preseason has not been pretty either. Shefty, to Washington next. Terry McLaurin and the Commanders, are they getting anywhere?
No, not so far, Greeny. And we are at August 25th. You'd have to think we are now at a point where there has to be urgency, whether it's Terry McLaurin or Trey Hendrickson or Micah Parsons. But there doesn't seem to be progress in any of these cases right now. This would figure to be another important week with the regular season opening next week. But these two sides have been apart all offseason. They continue to be apart on the value of the contract, and we'll see if it's late August that makes a difference and means anything in their talks, but so far not great.
They open with the sneaky good defense of the New York Giants. Orlovsky, how do you see the situation?
This is a bad situation for the Washington Commanders. He's been the face of your franchise for 6 or 7 years, gone through so many difficult moments, and last year he was one of the stars of that unbelievably feel-good story. You got a quarterback that can win MVP. You got a quarterback that you can win a Super Bowl with, and you're taking away the number one threat that he has. The ability to throw the ball downfield is one of his special talents, and you are removing the player who caught most of them. Every defense is going to play closer at the line of scrimmage. You are not a real contender without Terry McLaurin.
All right, and then when it comes to this kind of story in the NFL right now, all roads eventually lead to Micah. Micah Parsons and the Cowboys. We saw the thing the other day. He was the only player on his team who was not in a jersey for their final preseason game. There was a moment where he's lying on the medical table, and people made a very big deal of it. Here it is. His team's offense is on the field, and he's lying there. You can make up your own mind whether you think that's a big deal or not, one way or the other. Shefty, 10 days until they open in Philadelphia. What
is nothing, Greeny? Nothing. They haven't had any contract talks. The season opens in 10 days. Micah Parsons still has not practiced. So even if he were out there a week from Thursday night, which there are certainly no assurances or indications he will be right now, he's going to be limited at best. Micah Parsons could not go in and play a full football game next Thursday night. And again, the Dallas Cowboys say an MRI on his back came back clean. He says there's still back tightness. It's a hard thing to argue with, and I have a feeling that these types of issues may hang over this team and this situation this season.
You know, Green, what's really important is being 10 days away. I remember with Darrelle Revis, like we had a long holdout. I was right, the agent was wrong. And we finally get the deal done, and, you know, we're excited. We have a really good team. And then on opening day, Randy Moss beats him for a touchdown on a post. He pulls his hamstring, and it, like, all the air came out of the balloon. And that's why, like, to me, Kevin Patullo, the new OC of the Eagles, and Nick Sirianni, they almost want to see Micah Parsons out there. They will tempo him and go no huddle. And now, like, if I'm Jerry Jones, like, again, he was the owner, I'm the general manager, but there's a sense like you're laying your whole organization down. You have a chance to have a really good team, certainly on offense with Pickens being there. And now you have
Who's letting the organization down?
Jerry Jones. And, like, I always felt like as a general manager, I had a responsibility to give us a chance to win each and every year. And now you're at a point that even if you get the deal done, this isn't Dak Prescott walking in on the precipice of the season, Green. This is somebody that needs to be in great condition and you're going to play the Eagles on opening night, it really diminishes your chances of winning.
I think almost all of us think that the chances of him certainly playing a full game in 10 days are extremely unlikely. Here's the way I view this situation. Look, we've obviously talked about it a lot. It's endlessly interesting because of the dynamics, the soap opera-like dynamics of the people involved. At this point, if you're Micah Parsons, I think you have to sit out a game, because you have no other way
You look
of
foolish
pushing.
if you don't.
Well, no, but forgetting about, I don't care if I look foolish or not. How else do you force the issue?
Right.
The one way you're going to find out, like Jerry Jones, when you're playing someone, if this is a poker game, and I have $12 billion, and you don't, I can bet an amount of money that you can't call no matter what else happens. So I got to find out if you're bluffing. And the only way I can find out if you're bluffing is by sitting out at least one game and seeing if that changes anything. To me, that's the only move left.
That's what Emmett Smith did. That's what Emmett Smith did.
He sat out 2 games, and it's
Greeny,
30 years ago, but it worked then, and maybe it works now.
The difference is I had a sense of urgency that if we didn't win, I would be fired. A head coach has a sense of urgency. If he doesn't win, he's going to be fired. Jerry Jones is going nowhere.
I get it.
RC mentioned it. You're not here. I made $9 billion. So that's why, like, to me, this situation, like, this is the closest we're going to see to what happened with Jalen Ramsey in Jacksonville, which is, I think, for the Dallas Cowboys to blink, we are sometime into October.
You know, there's the old adage about marriage, right? For men, for sure. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
Yeah.
Jerry Jones wants to be right. Jerry Jones isn't concerned with being happy. Jerry Jones, in my opinion, isn't concerned with truly winning a championship. He's concerned with winning this engagement, this negotiation with Michael Parsons.
Wow.
And not winning this engagement or negotiations with David Mulligeta, with truly Michael Parsons. When have we seen an owner and general manager set out on a vendetta in the way that we've seen Jerry Jones attack Michael Parsons, to truly sit down with Stephen A. Smith and air this entire grievance out publicly? Those aren't things that we see. And when you look at this, for Jerry Jones, here is the decision he made. And I wrote this down, Greeny, when you said that Michael Parsons is going to have to sit out a game. Here is what Jerry Jones is counting on. Jerry Jones has owned this team for 4 decades.
Right.
When you play this game, you're blessed when you get 4 years.
Right.
And so he's going to say, Michael Parsons isn't willing to sit out what could possibly be a Hall of Fame career over a certain amount of money. He's not willing to sit out what could be a Hall of Fame career over his personal integrity. And so if he believes that, Michael Parsons has to show him. Michael Parsons has to say that with all that I want to accomplish individually, my self-respect, the way you treat me, is above that. And if he does not, if he shows up on Thursday night versus the Philadelphia Eagles, Michael Parsons has lost. And I do believe that both of these people are stubborn enough and believe in themselves enough where we won't see 11 on the field that night.
I feel like there's a comp for this, and it was Carson Palmer. Remember, Carson Palmer refused to play for the Bengals, whatever the stalemate was that they had. He retired. He was he missed an entire season.
And then went to the Raiders.
And then eventually they traded him to the Raiders for 2 first-round picks. I mean, we may be looking at that. If Micah Parsons wants to win, quote-unquote win, and this is a situation in which there already can't be a winner, but if he wants to win, it may involve missing an entire season of football.
And he did miss his last year at Penn State. It was
Right.
COVID
It was
year,
COVID, yeah.
But he opted to sit that out because he felt like that was in his best interest. There is so much money waiting for Micah Parsons. And I got to tell you something. I don't care how many times he takes a nap during a game this season.
Won't
I don't
impact
care.
$1.
Exactly. Despite what you say that teams are watching that. They have seen 4 years of 12-plus sacks.
Yep.
They're going to want to pay him.
I didn't say I would have won him on my team. I'm just saying it's
They're
not
lined up.
ability.
But you're talking about Micah Parsons conducting himself a different way. It doesn't matter how he conducts himself this year. He's going to get an enormous contract. And you bring up Carson Palmer being the model for Micah. Carson Palmer might be the model for Trey Hendrickson as well. Because Trey Hendrickson is vowed, I'm not playing under a contract that's going to pay me $16 million. And Trey Hendrickson's
here's the thing, right?
It's another model.
But under the rules, guys, just so our audience understands, he has to be there. He needs to be there so he gets the accrued season.
is there.
He's there.
No, that's what I'm
He's there,
saying.
and he has a tight back.
And he's
Yeah,
not,
exactly.
he don't care about the season.
No, I understand that. All I'm saying is,
$150 million.
right, he has to be there. And to me, now The other thing, if I'm the GM that I'm thinking about, I want Brian Schottenheimer to be the leader. I'm trying to establish a new head coach. This is the worst thing for him as well. So it just adds another layer.
He's the general owner, though. He's not the GM.
Right.
Brian Schottenheimer never had a chance to be the voice of this organization.
Yeah.
He's never going to be the face of this organization. What I'm wondering is, and this is just me, if I'm sitting around with Dan, and or if I'm Stephen Jones, if I'm Charlotte Jones, if I'm Jerry Jones Jr., I'm like, Pop, you're tripping.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, everybody around there can't be a yes man and allow Jerry Jones to continue to talk, to continue to do this, to continue to make the Dallas Cowboys an absolute embarrassment at this moment.
Jerry Jones would rather lose games than lose in the business world, because if he loses games, he can blame the players. If he loses in the business world, he has to blame himself.
There's also one other side piece of this, and again, it's dangerous for me to speculate about because I don't know Jerry Jones. I've met him, whatever it is, but I watched the interview with Steve, and I watched the interview with Michael Irvin. He thinks he's right.
Yep.
That's the problem. We all think he's wrong, but he himself thinks he's right. And as George Costanza once legendarily said, it's not a lie if you believe it. I think he thinks he's right. And
I think we could see an NFLPA grievance filed really shortly here about the way this thing has been handled.
Look, we all want to see the player on the field. He might be the best player, and he might be the best defensive player in the entire sport. We all want to see this resolved in some way. It doesn't seem to be heading.
The soap opera continues.
Windy fingers for everybody coming up.